Hey guys, Scott back again. What I'm doing today is a beer face-off video. I always get some good feedback with that. I have a lot of fun doing them. I think some people have some fun watching them, even though they may or may not agree with me. And by all means, just because I'm giving you my choice of my face-off videos, you don't have to agree with me, obviously. And please let me know what you, if you have a particular style of the beer that we do, or you have your own choice that you like. Let me know. Give me a little blurb in Facebook or in YouTube on which one that you particularly like. So what I have today facing off, I got two West Coast IPAs. I got a classic from Firestone Walker, Union Jack IPA. I'm sure I'll have these pictures popping over my shoulder, so I probably don't have to stick it in front of the camera as much. This is at 7% alcohol. And I've got another classic that's been around from Founders, Centennial IPA. Okay, this one's at, I believe, 7 or 7.2% alcohol, 65 IBUs. I didn't get the IBU units from the Firestone Union Jack, but obviously the Founders IPA. And again, why I'm picking these two, it's sometimes I have more fun pitting beers that are highly available, like, whether you're in California or you're here in New York, you can find these. It's tough to pit against kind of a pretty popular, mass-produced beer versus some of my local homebrew stores here, or I say homebrew, like farm breweries or microbreweries. It's just, that's more apples to oranges. I feel this is more apples to apples if I pit these two that you can probably find in grocery stores out west versus here in New York. The other thing is they're both West Coast IPAs. Okay, so there's going to be some pronounced bitterness to these. Union Jack uses Centennial, I believe Cascade. There's a few other Pacific Northwest hops that they use. Obviously, Centennial is probably more like a smash, meaning single malt and single hops. They're using probably exclusively Centennial hops, which is also a Pacific Northwest hop. For this being, again, a West Coast IPA. So I'm expecting these to be pretty similar, so I thought they would be very good to pit against each other. And again, it's not like, taking like an Equilibrium versus Founders. Founders, probably the hectoliters of beer that they're producing versus, say, Equilibrium is probably a lot different off the charts, even though Founders still, no, I think Founders was bought out by Big Beer, so I don't think they're no longer craft. So, but again, you can find these in like 12 packs, 15 packs. And as well as, you can get Firestone Walker Union Jack pretty readily available, as well as other Firestone Walker IPAs. I forget the one that's classic. When I was studying for Cicerone, Beer Judge Certification Program had it as one of the classic ones. So I feel I got apples to apples, oranges to oranges here in these two going against each other. Okay? Because again, the Union Jack's using more than Centennial, but there was, I believe, Cascade. They may even be using Chinook. I took a quick look at it, but a lot of them were Pacific Northwest hops. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack open the Union Jack. I'm going to actually crack both of them open right now. And I'm going to try to pour them and do this side by side. Okay. So the Union Jack, we're going to pour. And then I'm going to get the Centennial. Okay, both are roughly, about 4 or 5 months old. Okay, so they're pretty close to each other. All right, so the Union Jack, okay, again, don't worry, I'll probably have a side-by-side picture posting over my face. So the Union Jack, nice white to light tan, dense head. Excuse my nucleation bubbles here, but you've got kind of a dark straw, light gold color, some slight chill haze there, but looks pretty nice. Pretty clear that you would expect with a West Coast IPA. These are not hazy, so I don't expect they're using oats or unmalted wheat to create some of the haziness besides the hop matter. Okay, so let me take a sniff of the aroma. This is the Union Jack Firestone. Okay, so nice light citrus. grapefruit, little piney. There's definitely some pine in here, which you would expect from those hops. I almost got, like, when I did a quick short sniff, almost like a bubble gum kind of smell to it. But very nice. Definitely pretty assertive on the aroma of the hops. Okay, but definitely, kind of citrus, little grapefruit, pine. Okay, but very nice. Okay. And you get a little bit of that toast, bread crust kind of from the malt. Okay, guys, so let me but let me show this first before I get to it. This is the Union Jack Firestone, and you can see the Centennial. Look how much darker. Now, I'm hoping that's not because of oxidation, the darkness. You can see it's darker, the Centennial IPA, okay, which is more of a kind of a darker gold to even a light amber color, okay. This one on the aroma, I might as well do the aroma. Yeah, this one has a little bit of, it's got citrus, some pine, but it almost has like a slight tropical fruit smell to it, almost like I'm getting a little pineapple on this. This is the Centennial, Founder Centennial IPA. But also has some pine, but the Union Jack has definitely more pine to it. Okay, so let's take a swig of the Union Jack. You can see, again, this is kind of a lighter gold color, pretty clear. All right. Yeah, definitely moderate to pronounced bitterness. It's got that kind of toasty malt profile. I get a little bit of almost like a candied grapefruit peel or so, like that. You kind of got a little bit of tartness there. Again, light grapefruit, pine. Again, the malt, light toast, bread crust, a little bit like that. Pretty nice though. On the aftertaste, I'm not sure what I'm picking up there, but I'm getting something on the aftertaste. But it's, both pretty, medium carbonated, medium to high carbonation, pretty refreshing, pretty nice. On the flavor though of the hops, so I'm saying I'm losing it pretty quickly on my palate. Again, the moderate, the kind of pronounced bitterness, but I'm not getting, it's not kind of lingering there on the taste buds on something like that I would expect with the copious amounts of Pacific Northwest hops. It's still pretty good, pretty refreshing, but definitely grapefruit on the palate, citrus. Okay, so let me jump over to Centennial IPA Founders. You can see this one is definitely significantly more dark. Okay. More gold, light amber. I'm hoping it's not kind of oxidized. Okay, sometimes with very hoppy beers, and both of these are IPAs. This one's using, again, remember, solely Centennial hops. Sometimes you'll get that darkening, or there's some malt shift if it's very old. But let's see. But it is a West Coast IPA, so they probably are using some crystal malt. All right. So you saw that versus look at the bottom there. The lighter color of the Union Jack, again, which also uses Centennial as well as other Pacific Northwest hops. So again, this is the Centennial IPA. Wow, this has got a lot more pronounced. When I take, kind of reset my nostrils here a little bit, I kind of got a little bit more pronounced on the grapefruit. And a little bit more, I can kind of almost smell like this is using some crystal malt. Like there's just a little bit more of a little darker toast, bread crust, biscuit top kind of aroma to it. So a little bit more of a malt backbone on the aroma the Centennial IPA Founders has. And that makes sense if this is not oxidized and we look a little bit darker. West Coast IPAs are typically using a little bit more darker malts. we're so used to drinking these New England IPAs and hazy juicies that are usually very straw colored. Okay, so this is the Centennial IPA Founders. So no doubt, immediately, I'm getting that toasty bread crust, biscuit top, even like challah bread, kind of crust. Okay, definitely more malt to this, and I like it. It's definitely got some more of a malt backbone to it. It still has a pretty equally balanced with the bitterness versus the Union Jack. I'm gonna pour a little bit more of the Union Jack in here, but definitely more malt backbone on the Centennial IPA, Founder Centennial IPA. It's not oxidized. Okay, I can kind of tell. I don't get any papery, malt shift, anything like that. There's citrus on the Centennial, which you'd expect, and you are getting some pine. I think the Union Jack is giving me a little bit more pine than the Centennial, which gives me a little more grapefruit. But the Centennial, Founder Centennial, definitely has a little bit more malt to it, which I enjoy. But both are very good beers. Let me go back to the Union Jack. You can kind of see the lightness there, kind of that gold color. Yeah, when I take a sniff of the aroma again on the Union Jack, you got that citrus, you got the pine, but there is that, there's something like giving me a tropical fruit. I'm not going to say blown away like pineapple or mango, but you get that, there's definitely a little citrus thing with pine, with the pine. Very good, very crisp. Both drink. That was the Union Jack. This is the Centennial. Both drink pretty dry. There is some residual sweetness more in the residual sweetness in the Centennial, and that may just because of my perception of the malt. But again, both are pretty good beers. Again, that's a Centennial. So what you'd get, I think, with Union Jack, you got more pine. Again, these are both West Coast IPAs. They both have a little bit more malt backbone, but you get definitely more malt, bread crust. I even had on a little swig I had taken before, even a slightly nutty, like biscuit top, challah bread, crust, things like that. So the Centennial, again, more malt, supportive, which is typical for West Coast IPAs. You get the pine, you get the citrus, okay, enough citrus in there. Again, both drinking pretty nicely. The Firestone Union Jack, to me, just has a little bit more grapefruit, less malt backbone to it. But definitely more than your New England IPAs and your hazies. So let me take one more sniff and swig of this, and I'll tell you who I think is going to win. Okay, that was the Union Jack, and then I got the Centennial IPA. Again, yeah. So both are West Coast IPAs. Both have good moderate bitterness. They both have some grapefruit, a little pine in there. Centennial probably has definitely more malt to it, as I've said, with the bread crust, things like that. The Union Jack kind of sticks with the citrus and a little bit lighter on the malt profile, more white bread, wheat bread, maybe light toast. And light crust, okay? Because there is definitely some malt presence there, which you do expect in West Coast IPAs. But guys, both solid beers. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. However, there has to be a winner. Today, between the Centennial IPA from Founders versus Firestone Walker, even though it's a classic brand, Union Jack. To my taste and my preference for West Coast IPA, I'm giving it to the Centennial IPA that's using, again, Centennial hops exclusively, I believe, for bittering, flavor, and aroma. And the Union Jack is using a multitude of Pacific Northwest hops. Again, same style. So you saw either one of them on the shelf, because I'm not sure if I'm going to do a standalone video for both of these. You can't go wrong with either one of them. I just think that if you like a little more malt profile to it, like I said, challah bread, biscuit top, crust, I think you should pick up the Centennial IPA from Founders. I think it gives you a little more of that. If you want a little more neutral, a little more hop dominant, citrus, grapefruit, not as much malt, even though there is some malt backbone on that, which you do want because it is a West Coast IPA, not a juicy, then you go with the Firestone Walker. Okay, but for the winner for today's beer face-off, I'm picking the Founders Centennial IPA over the Union Jack for the reasons I just stated. Okay, guys? Hopefully you find these videos fun, maybe a little bit informative. And until the next video, have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.